What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Baby Shack and I'm here to help you become profitable. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get right into today's video. So I took a trade last night on, I believe, which account? This account right here. We were down 200. We ended up making 600 in total. So that gave us a 400 return overall. And it was on gold. It was during the Asian session. I'm also in a trade right now, currently on this account, trying to recover from a $248 loss, and to maybe be up about 200, maybe 300 on this account as well. So I'm going to break down the first trade that I had last night, and hopefully this ends up becoming a win so I can break that down as well. All right, so the first trade was right here. I already had it kind of marked out. It's during the Asian session. And I saw it wasn't this spot, but it was this spot over here. So I saw that we had this sweep of liquidity right here on the 5-minute time frame and then a break of structure. So that made this for me a valid 5-minute demand zone. And then I kind of had it highlighted right here. So you can see we ended up breaking lower right here on the 5-minute time frame. Started creating lower highs, lower lows, traveling down right here with this trend line. And once we got down into this, you can see on the 1 hour time frame, I believe that is a 1 hour imbalance. There was a lot of imbalances inside of this area. So you can see right here, there's a 1 hour imbalance. So I know that it was a strong zone that we initially pushed out of. I'm going to keep checking up on this position. Thinking about closing maybe one of these. No, I'm gonna let it ride. So I know that this was a strong zone that we could push out of. So on what is this? On Top Step X, we came all the way into the zone, but on Trading View we did not. So right here is the zone on Top Step, and you can see we clearly came and tapped into the 5-minute demand. Which made me want to take the trade. And you can see we had a good reaction. We ended up changing character right here, or breaking higher, creating a new imbalance for us to tap into. You can see the trend line also right here. Same trend line, which is right here. And we ended up going and taking out the high. So that's pretty much the breakdown on that trade. Same setup right here. Where we at? We could have just easily taken it off of the break of the trend line. And trend line breaks are very good trade setups. It gives you very explosive moves to the upside because of low resistance liquidity. Now coming back to over here, for this setup, it's slightly different. I'm going to go ahead and take off one contract now. Come on. Okay. So we took off one contract. That gave us a little bit of our money back. But basically for this setup, it's kind of like a chain reaction, right? We ended up tapping into this demand right here, going higher. And now we have this demand sitting in here that we're tapping into down here. We ended up tapping into it once, kind of sweeping up high, creating a high resistance liquidity point right here because we swept all of these highs. But we do have equal highs sitting up here as well that we can target. So we came back down into this zone, tapped into this imbalance, this fresh demand, took this liquidity, and also created a SMT right here with silver. And that's what gave me the main confidence to re-enter into this trade. If we go to trading view, you can see on the 5-minute time frame the SMT that we had formed. So excuse me, sorry about that. Right here we have a low and then a lower low on gold, and then right here you can see with that same low we have a low and a higher low on silver. So seeing this SMT, this is a sign of a potential manipulation. We have equal highs up here that we can target as well for a potential higher high. But we do have to keep in mind that we're kind of stuck in a range right now from this area to this area, because we're sweeping liquidity. We're sweeping liquidity inside of here internally, but we're also sweeping a ton of liquidity inside of here. And I believe we also have a SMT at the highs, so we have to be careful of that as well. So let's see right here. We might have to go to like a higher time frame. Let's see. So now the highest high is like kind of like in here. It's really ugly. So yeah, this is pretty much the SMT right now with silver and gold. So this could be a manipulation for us to go down now, or we could have gold end up catching up with silver right now. So that is the thing you want to watch for with SMTs. You want to see if gold right now wants to catch up, or if we're going to end up going back to the downside. So what I'm going to do is probably sell one more contract and leaving the other right here. So that puts us kind of back at break even, which is solid. We could be up around 100. I feel like this is going to work out. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our stop loss a little, I guess, higher. And we're going to see if this trade can play out and we can take these highs. But like I said, we're stuck in a huge range, so we want to go to break even as soon as possible. So it's looking pretty good now. I think there's a no wick candle somewhere. No, there's none on here. So let me see. We're now inversing the 15-minute, looks like it. So we're looking pretty good. Could have a nice explosive move. Like I said, the biggest thing now is you want to see if gold is going to catch up to silver. And I guess the way you may see that is you want to see a continued push up from now on, or you want to kind of see a strong move quickly. And you can see right there we're starting to get a strong push, but we want to see if we're actually going to get that move to the upside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this target like I did last night, getting that $400 win. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start trailing. As soon as we start to hit my profit target, I'm going to start trailing very closely, because we could have an explosive move to the upside. There's no wick right here. So I've been under the weather the past 4 days, so that's why you guys have seen no videos from me. So sorry about that, but it is what it is. I'm still trying to get better. I'm definitely feeling a lot better now, though. That's why I'm making this video. So hopefully it's of benefit to you guys. You can see sellers are now stepping into the market in this candle right here. Now, if we could get a push through that and not see sellers continue to sell from this moment, then that'd be really good. So we got a little bit of buyers inside of here. It'd be nice if they could hold right here and then push us through this selling zone. But there's buyers sitting all in here as well. So This is the zone I would love to see hold, obviously, because it's the closest for one. And it'll leave us less of a retracement. We do have a EMA crossover, the 9 EMA and the 21 EMA, so that's a good sign as well. I low-key kind of want to trail higher because this is a decent profit to hold, to have already, so something you don't necessarily want to lose. So now we're hopefully, like I said, we can get through that selling zone and then push through all of these equal highs. So even if we do reject, I feel like we may go lower and then push strong through all of the equal highs. So that's kind of my take. Equal highs, equal highs, equal highs. If we look, let's see, I think this is all the New York session. So that'll give us a better idea of what's going on. Let's see right here. We took no London lows. I mean, no Asian lows. We had a Asian expansion session. London kind of accumulated, then manipulated down. But we didn't really, we kind of manipulated the London lows. And then New York didn't really manipulate anything. New York ended up sweeping the London highs. So that's not what you want to see. But this could be a manipulation for us to actually continue higher. And what I mean by that is they're looking to trap people into selling right here. So it's making people think sales are coming in, and then it'll end up probably creating a breaker block right here and then going higher, because now that we swept the London highs, everyone might be thinking, okay, we're going to reverse now and take Asian lows, London lows, etc. But it could just be a trap and I guess counter reversal for us to then create a breaker block right here. Mark my words, I think that's what's going to happen. So this may be like a future breaker block zone where they faked the sales into buys. So really right now you think it's a manipulation for a fake out of the buyers, but really it's faking out the buyers and the sellers at this point, because now people are going to start selling, and the buyers getting out the market, letting the banks essentially take over with this SMT right here. So I believe that's the only SMT that occurred on the lower side. So you can kind of see where we're trying to get a push through that seller zone right here, and we're just steady pushing through with this little trend line right here. So that'd be nice if we can continue up. Like I said, I kind of want to start trailing 99, 100. But if we kind of just leave it down here, I think we could just make way more, to be honest. And I don't think that's being greedy. I think that's being logical. Like, sometimes I don't trail so hard because I know I need to leave a little bit more room for price to do what it wants to do. So we're in looks like a lower time frame consolidation that might end up breaking out. If I was greedy, I'd enter another contract in right here, but I'm not greedy. So this is looking like a base breakout. We're in a consolidation, breaking out, and I want to see us continue from here. So that is kind of the setup now that I'm looking at. That's probably going to be all for this video. I kind of want to let you guys stick around and see how this plays out. I really been trading, and I just gotta give glory to God. with the way I've been trading lately. It has not been on my own accord. It's kind of been like divine intervention in a way. Like, of course, I'm using my analysis skills, but I'm just kind of like flowing at the moment, um, even in a kind of tough market that we're in right now. But yeah, we're kind of sitting watching this play out a little bit longer. I'm up 200 now, so I'm gonna start trailing very soon. I'm not gonna wait too much longer. I'm gonna put how much do we want to put on here? Okay, so there's no wick on this candle, so we may come down and take that. And we don't always take no wick candles, but we do like to take them often. You can see I put no wick right here, and you can see we came down and took that. It ended up actually forming a wick, but barely. We ended up coming down, sweeping that, and then continuing to the upside. So trying to secure some profits now. I'm very thankful that I could secure that. Let's see. We're going to put it right here. We're not going to necessarily trail by profits quite yet. There's also equal lows here, which I don't like, but equal lows. But I low-key feel like I should exit out of the trade. Well, actually, this kind of formed a breaker right here. I'm not sure if that was the breaker I was talking about. No, it was a higher time frame breaker. So that kind of formed like a lower time frame breaker on the 1 minute. You can see we were rejecting. If we're just looking at a price action standpoint, we had sellers in here. We ended up absorbing sellers right here, and then we're getting a breakout of the buyers. We got imbalance right here. We took the no wick candle low. This is kind of like a breaker block as well, because we pushed all the way through, and now we're getting a nice rejection out of it to start hopefully taking these equal highs. And you can see there's really no imbalance left to necessarily reject us to the downside. And that's what I look at. I look at imbalances to give us rejections and things like that. So you can see this huge imbalance. As we push through it, we got rejections all throughout. So now I want to see this treated as like low resistance liquidity, meaning for us to just push through it very strong, like how we had in this example right here. So you can see how we had virtually no imbalances left, and then we pushed strong through all of that. So that is what I want to kind of see happen right here. Now we are getting a rejection right now over here. It's pretty strong at the moment. We did get a rejection out of this zone at first, going to the upside, but now we're pushing down pretty strong. So this is kind of my last line of defense. We do have these equal lows that I kind of want to put my stop loss under, because I don't want to lose the trade because I was trailing too tight on the equal lows. So let's go to the 5 minute and see what we're working with here. There's no imbalances coming up on the 5 minute. I would like to see us just hold this 5 minute candle low. And maybe we end up coming down and tapping this inverse fair value gap. And then continuing to the upside. Some people utilize it. I don't really utilize it like that, but I've seen it work before, and you can see it's kind of working out right now. I just haven't created a method as to why it would typically work. So you can see it just worked in this instance though, and we also held that 5 minute candle low. So now once we start breaking higher, I'm really going to start trailing my stop loss very tightly, because although we could have an explosive push to the upside, we could easily have a strong push to the downside because we are in a higher time frame SMT, like I said. So we want to kind of protect some of the profits that we made, and yeah, that's where we're at. So we're rejecting out of this 1 minute imbalance now, so that is not what we want to see. Hopefully, like I said, we can at the most sweep these equal lows on the lower time frame, which is right here, and then maybe reverse back to the upside. So there is this candle right here that might hold us. I can delete some of this. Oops. Inside of here. So now I would like to see that push up, and if we don't push up from here, then we might end up just pushing lower. We are getting some buying pressure, stepping back into the market, so that's good. No imbalances inside of here as well, but this is kind of where we really want to see it hold. And like I said, once again, if I was greedy, I would be looking to enter in the market again right here. So, but I'm not. All right, we've been taken out. 5 minute candle low has been broken. I'm looking to potentially re-enter this trade if we get a reversal candle. We had a lot of selling going on in this area, so this could go down. But like I said, I believe we're supposed to continue to the upside, so I'm very confident in that. But it has to make sense. Right now, we could easily bleed down, lower, lower, lower. No wick right here. That's a good sign. I might just walk away with the 98. And call it a day, since I already made something on the other account as well. So I'm checking my options. I'm looking to potentially re-enter here. All right, we are back in, risking half of the profits we made. And now we want to see that huge quick push to the upside. This is, like I said, when I'm going to be trailing very tight. And when you get something that happens like this, sometimes we just need a little bit more liquidity before continuing to push to the upside. And that'll happen when you start to reach the higher, the premium or the discount of a leg. So right now you have sellers up here, buyers down here. And even if we want to hit this target up here, when you get into this higher leg, sometimes even if we're supposed to continue higher, you're going to get sometimes a rejection before you actually hit your full target. And a lot of the time I end up getting booted out of my trades at this area because I'm trailing hard and I don't just set to break even. But setting to break even sometimes can mess you up where you're almost at full TP and then you end up going all the way back down to break even. So I definitely don't like those moments. I'd rather trail how I normally do and secure partials and continue to do what I'm doing. So another no wick candle, or close to no wick. We took this no wick candle. We took this no wick candle. And I want you guys to start paying attention to no wick candles. They're very good when it comes to draws on liquidity. We don't always hit them very quickly or whatever. It just depends. It really depends on, I guess, really your price action, your price target, etc. You don't just want to say, oh, no wick candle above, I'm taking buys, or no wick candle below, I'm taking sells. But for example, we got this gap right here. A lot of times we like to fill gaps, but lately gold has not wanted to fill its gaps. Like there's another gap from a week ago down here that we have not filled. So gold has just been gapping up. Right here we gapped up. We didn't fill it. So you kind of want to add certain things to your trading, but not just follow it as a base straight rule. It depends on your strategy. So right now you can see we're in that zone where we swept liquidity. So we know that there should be some strong sellers or sellers in this area because selling was absorbed right here. But like I said, I want to see this kind of like flipped and for us to go higher. We could technically respect it because like I said, we do have a higher time frame SMT. I'm trying to let you guys actively see this position go in favor or not in favor. Right now we're showing black. We did just get a large blue candle showing a potential reversal, and that is where we're at. So we had some sellers step back into the market. We do have a no wick candle sitting right up here as well, so that is a good sign for us. We just took the no wick candle on the lower time frame. It did have a wick, but just barely. So same thing for me. No wick, low wick. 1 minute imbalance right here. And now we have some kind of low resistance liquidity kind of building up. And if we can push through that, then we will be looking golden. So this is kind of how it looks in my head. And we want to see a push out of this zone now. We had the sweep of this liquidity down here. We had the inverse fair value gap. We got a fresh new 1 minute imbalance. And now we're pushing into that correctively. So once again, if I wanted to be greedy, which I do not, you could take a breakout right here as well. But the goal is not to be greedy, but to be conservative, take smart risk to reward trades, and then let the market play out. So that is where we're at right now. We want to see this move corrective and push back to the upside. So strong candle right here to the downside, but this is on the 15-second time frame. We could easily reverse that. But yeah, now we just kind of wait and see where the market truly wants to go. Do we want to go down further, or do we want to actually go up higher? I did not really take a look at NAS like that this morning. And you can see silver is just moving. Gold is rejecting. This would be the setup of a breakout. And if we don't break out, obviously we fail. And then we kind of create a supply going down. So right now we got that trend line that's holding above, and this is what we really need to see broken now in order for this play to work out. Right now we are rejecting off of this trend line, which is kind of like from this sweep we're coming into like basically this kind of like supply right here, and we're rejecting off of it. And now we're trying to see which way we want to go. Um, in terms of sales, like you don't really want to take a sell off of a supply like this because of all of the equal highs that you have resting above this level. Like there's so much liquidity sitting above here, and we could get a reaction, which you can see we did get a reaction. We had this imbalance sitting in here. We know that we swept liquidity over here, and then we dropped strong from here. Now, if we look, I don't think we didn't break any significant level with that supply that was created. Coming back into it, we came back in strong push initially, then we came back in kind of corrective. We had a good reaction, but now we're kind of creating a trend line or a corrective movement going down. So that is a signal that I believe this supply is going to fail, and then we're going to end up pushing through and taking that high out. Now we could come and take this out. We could take this out and then still continue up. Like that's a possibility, but obviously my hope is that we got this V-shaped recovery right here. We're going to hold this 1 minute strong imbalance, and we're going to break this corrective movement / trend line to the upside. So that is what I'm looking to see happen. We're getting a strong push out of there, going to the higher time frame. Like I said, we're stuck in between this range and this range right here. So this is kind of like your resistance area. This is kind of like your support area. So taking a trade in here might not be the best move, but I saw it as a good move because of the risk to reward. And I'm still obviously standing on it. We're tapping into that order block now, which is the last down candle that swept liquidity before the up move. And we could still see a push off of that as well. Let me see if there's any 5-minute imbalances. No 5-minute imbalances that I can see. Do we have any 3 minutes? We got a small 3-minute imbalance down here. So that could be something we do mess with as well. Don't know if I want to risk that all the way. I might, just because once again the risk to reward will still be good. If I have something like this 139 to hit 300, that's still solid for me. And we could come take, kind of these equalish lows out and then push back to the upside. So I'll risk it. That'll put me down like 38 for the day, which is still fine. That's almost like a break-even day. I'm cool with that. And I really don't have to move that. That's just in case we have some random spike at the moment, like boom, which can happen. So just while I'm talking and doing all of this, I don't want that to happen. We're going back to the 1 minute. We can see we're tapping into the 1 minute order block. We are getting a good reaction out of it so far. But what needs to happen is we have to break the trend line high. So right now, long wick to the upside. Not the sign we want to see. Long wick to the upside, rejecting imbalance right here. Not saying this is going to fail, but right now we're leaning towards going lower. Let me take a look at silver real quick. Silver is now starting to give some rejections from the top side. I'm gonna go check out the 30-minute. See what we have here. We got a 30-minute imbalance right here. This one has not formed yet, but we have 5 minutes for that to form. We're starting to push down pretty strong. Now let's see what happens here. We got a 30-minute imbalance right here. Okay, so we could end up taking out this low completely. Let's see if this is the zone that wants to hold. I took one more buy, and I want to see if we can have the full run up from this area now. I'm not going to take full TP up here with both contracts. I'm going to put one lower. So let's see. I'll put one probably like right here and leave the other one up here. And once again, this is all kind of calculated. Like I said, this isn't random trades. You guys know exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing. I still believe this is not going to continue in a bearish structure now, as in I don't think we're going to continue and just start going bearish now from here. I think this was a push from down here to eventually sweep down here and then break this trend line, all this liquidity to have a breakout. So that is what I'm banking on at this point. I'm going to put some take profits up here. I don't like that there's no wick right here at the moment, but it is what it is. This video is getting kind of long. I'm trying to let you guys see some of this play out because I believe it is going to play out. But I'm probably going to end it soon. I'm going to put one of my take profits around there. Actually, I think I'll put it like right here. And the reason is I'm already $98 in profit. This has not taken a loss yet. So if I do win this, that'll give me around another 150, which will put me up around 240. Then I'll set my stop loss to break even, and then I'll let the rest ride up here. So that is going to be all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hold up. There's no wick on this 30-second candle either, so don't like it, like I said. But we don't always immediately come back for those. Like, we could set it, push off, and then come back for it later. So 5 minute looking solid. Trying to see where I should take profit at. Don't want to be greedy, like I said. I might take profit like right there on the first one. Or actually, what I'll do is I'll probably start to trail. I'll start to trail my stop loss once we get really close to this, because I think I believe, like I said earlier, we're just gonna run through this now. And that's what I was waiting for earlier once we got our first initial reaction up here. So now that we've reacted out of this, I definitely think if we're going to push up strong here, we should run through that. No wick on the 30-second candle. Let's see what happens. Waiting. We are around the moving averages now. We did push clearly below them right here. But as you can see, we have a few points of flip-flop. We swapped here. We swapped here, here. And if we swap here, that's just showing us that we're in a consolidation. So this right here, here, that just shows we're in consolidation. So we don't want to see this get rejected, the moving averages. We want to see us push through those now. If we don't, then this trade may go south, which I'll be okay with. No wick candle has now been taken. Now, do we push lower and flush through this stuff, or do we take the no wick candles and then continue to the upside? Strong bearish candles at the moment, so not the best. This was a small wick, so we are continuing with the bearish movement at the moment. I'm going to move this a little bit lower. You can see this is a zone that did take some liquidity, so we do have that in our favor. And this is kind of like the same setup that I showed you earlier. We have accumulation, manipulation. We start to push to the upside, and then we come back down, we sweep, and then we go back up. But the only thing is there's no imbalance in this area, but there was, I believe, right here. So this is a good zone, or an okay zone to look for the buys or the continuation. And I think that was on the 3-minute time frame. Yeah, that's where I had this imbalance drawn out of, the 3-minute time frame. So we tap back into it right here. We tap back into it again. Now let's hope we can hold this, tapped into this demand that swept liquidity. And now we see that push through all of this low resistance liquidity to the upside. We're getting a solid push, solid push. I want to see this be very explosive at this point. If we look at silver, silver gave us a pullback, and now we're pumping again to the upside. So we need to see a push through this trend line, though. This is what's holding us down now. I'm already kind of thinking about setting lowering my risk. We're risking 230 total, so that'll be 120 for the day we're now risking, which is decent. That's okay. If we move it up here, we're risking 60 for the day. I don't think we're coming back down this low, to be honest, but you never know. So we're gonna move it back down to this low. But as soon as we kind of start breaking out, I'm going to start reducing my risk. Once we start going through these highs, I'm going to start trailing tight. Hopefully we don't get hit on the trail if we can get up into here. And hopefully we can get a strong push into the TP before we hit the trailing stop loss. We're only going to trail one limit order, and then we're going to have a running position that can hopefully hit even higher. So we did take, like I said, the 2 no wick candles. There's another one that just formed right here, along with some equal lows. So we may come down and take this, come into all of this imbalance before going higher. We're also starting to get a moving average cross on the 30-second. 1 minute is still, we're above it, so that's good. You can see it's also a no wick candle on the 1 minute. So if we do want to come down and take more liquidity, we'll definitely probably take that. So as soon as we kind of get up into this area, I'm going to start trailing very closely. Taking a sip of water. We're kind of just watching the market at this point together. So this was kind of based off of order flow and just like the flow of orders coming in and out of the market. Excuse me. I just took some water. Like I said, I'm recovering from not feeling my best. So trying to breathe out my nostrils. Still struggling to break this trend line. We came down, took the no wick candles, and now let's see if we hold. We do have what's called a CISD, which we just tapped back into right here, changing the state of delivery. I don't really use that much at the moment, but I can kind of identify it. CISD after, I think you want to use that after sweeping liquidity. I think that's the only time people really use it. So we swept liquidity right here in this area. And then this was a down candle. Now this is the last down candles before the push up. So we did get a change in the state of delivery. Now we're kind of like following this trend line to the upside. No wick candle once again on the bullish side. Very ugly. And basically, to give you an explanation of the no wick candles, is basically like inducement. You know how if you have a demand level and then you have like just a random push up, so it'll be something like that. Like let's say you have a demand and then you get something like this. This would kind of be a no wick candle or an inducement level because you had a huge push up without any form of manipulation. And it's kind of hard to explain it completely, but basically it's just like free orders for the market to take in this area. So it's the same thing with this. Like you had a huge push up from here without any push down on this candle. So all of a sudden some buy orders just flooded into the market right here. It's just free orders for the banks or the algorithm, whatever you think the market does to take for us to then go higher. So that's why I've been marking all these no wick candles, and you've been seeing they've been all getting taken. Right here, you can see there's a no wick candle to the upside right here. So that is an easy draw on liquidity for us at the moment that we're most likely heading into very soon. But the question is now, do we go take this one first, or do we go take this one that we've kind of been gravitating towards? And that's why I said you can't just use a concept like this just as like a blanket statement, like, oh, no wick candle, we're going for it. Oh, no wick candle, we're going for it right now. So it's just a concept you want to add to everything else that you're doing. So we're hovering at this trend line. There's still sellers kind of sticking in this area. We kind of broke the chain of sellers right here, in my opinion. So now we should be headed to the upside. This is kind of like a break of supply because you can see there was strong selling in here. We ended up breaking above those strong sellers. I don't think we broke with momentum, but we didn't break with imbalance. So let me see on the 2 minute, is there anything? 30-second maybe. So there's a lot of imbalance on the 30-second, but none on the 1 minute. So this is the moment of truth. Moment of truth. Gonna come down, take this most likely, then continue up. You can see we're rejecting the trend line once again. Once again, I just want to thank God for the abilities that he gave me, or that he works through me to trade. I studied for a very, very long time, a total of 5 years so far. It's been a long time coming. Took me about 4 years to become break even / start to become profitable. But I still had some bad habits. And now, my habits are pretty decent. I still want to improve on my day-to-day structure, though, and just what I'm doing in the mornings, evenings, and day-to-day. So that's what's going to help get me to the next level. All glory to God, though, Jesus Christ, to be specific. We could take some profit here. I really want to wait and execute in the way I said I wanted to. So I'm going to wait till we kind of hit the highs up there, and then I'm going to start trailing. We're kind of breaking out through here now. So now we're just kind of managing our risk. Let me check these candles. There's a wick down there. But yeah, I want to end this video so it's not too long, but you guys, we're here from the beginning, so I kind of want to let you see it play out in totality, especially when we're like right there to what we've been waiting for. I could close out now and it'll still be a very decent day, like 170 plus 98. That's almost 300. All right, so we're about to start trailing very tight. I want to see, like I said, us push through all of this very strong. Yeah, we should just hit this high, in my opinion, very quickly. And then I'm going to probably trail this too, but not as tight, to see if we can have a nice explosive move to the upside. So you can see there's no wick on this candle as well. We could come down and take that. And that might stop me out, to be honest, of this trade. Trying to look and see. Let's see if we can push through this seller's wick. If we can, I'm going to start trailing this candle. I may move this back just a tad. Give us a little bit of room. We did a very, very good job last night and today. This is by far my biggest profit day so far. And the reason I'm taking gold today is because gold has just been very explosive. It hasn't had the best pullback price action, but last night it did, so thankful for that. Now let's see if we can hit the high. I kind of want to delete all of the stuff we had. This will be the next point of potential rejection. And we could just explode through this high as well. So I'm going to move that up just a smidge, but we're going to trail it pretty tight. So I'm going to trail kind of tight now. I'm leaving a little bit of room in the candles, but beautiful trades. Beautiful trades. Thank you, God. You can see we have like this candle that hasn't been touched yet. So that's kind of where I expected a small amount of rejection before we kind of get an explosive push to the upside. So kind of hoping we hold this candle low. You can see there's no wick right here. We may come back for that. We may not at the moment. I don't want us to. I just want to see us continue to push up. Insane day. Insane day. We're going to move this up to here. All right, order filled. We're probably going to move this to right here as well. There's a little accumulation candle. I feel like I should lower this just a tad. I'm going to put it at 135. So this is a demand on the lower time frame, but I feel like we may come and sweep it, which you can see we did, and then continue up. A lot of times I've had my stop loss under this, and then we do what we're doing now. We sweep it and then we go up versus respecting it and then going up. So taking the risk to see the reward. So we could go lower. If we do, I'm going to be done for the day. I need to check my options and see how those are moving as well. Not really going anywhere. I took an options call on QQQ, SPY, and GLD, but GLD isn't moving even though it's gold, and that's what I'm trading now. But it's whatever. So now that we had that little last bit of retracement, I'm expecting the explosion to come right here. So we got some imbalance right here. I want to see that reversed or inversed, and then for us to continue flying to the upside. So everything worked out very good. Everything that I explained worked pretty well. I know that I moved my stop loss. That was, the trade was still correct and based off of this push, but sometimes you can get the play to happen here, or sometimes knowing like what I know we could push back into here before going up, and I called it before it happened based off of this 3-minute imbalance, which you can see we came right back into, and then we started pushing back higher. So it was all planned, thought about, plotted, whatever you want to call it. Let me see, I'm gonna stay on the 5-minute at the moment. But yeah, 213 secured now, and then plus 150, 360, plus the 400 the other day. So that's a $760 day, which is by far my biggest day in trading, which is like, if you cut it in half, that's like 300 with the profit split of a prop firm plus taxes. So I might be pocketing like $300 by the end of all of this. So that's still a very good and a very beautiful day to me. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So now we're still fighting this little sweep. I kind of want to see us hold the 5-minute candle. These 5-minute buyers inside of this wick. And then continue to the upside. So don't want to give too much back to the market. I'm just kind of examining. I am almost certain we're going to continue higher. So trying to see how much I should risk in order for that to happen. I kind of like this. We do have this little order block, last down candle before the up move. This is kind of like a base that we created. We may end up rallying to the upside, and that will be, it'll create a demand zone for us. So risking 85 right now to make another, how much is that? I think 220. Yeah, 220. So that's definitely worth the risk if I want to take it, of course. So that's kind of what I'm deciding now. We're holding that 5-minute now, so I think I can move my stop loss back up to here. Very tough, very tough. So 100, that'll be a 300 versus that. If I take this now, that's almost 400 that I made on this account as well. So now if I get 400 plus 600, that's 1,000 today. Well, guys, I'm going to cut this video. We're approaching an hour now. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.